shebang. Say hello, everybody. I'm gonna turn down the volume of the music very slightly. No, goodbye! We're getting started like 45 minutes late. Don't judge me. It's only partially my fault this time. No! Don't rat me out like that! Why would you out me like that?
It's funny.
I also, just realized Discord audio was muted, so they didn't hear that. Good.
What? No.
How dare you silence us? This is censorship.
I unleash our debater.
I unleash our debater! This is censorship. How dare you? A
I,
violation of my rights.
I cannot be held accountable.
I deserve to be
you were
heard by the
silenced.
people. I deserve to be heard.
It's too busy playing Champions. Why would you out me like that?
Also do this.
Oh.
Huh? Oh, so it shows up on stream? Okay, thanks, buddy. Thanks, buddy.
Your sins
And you
are
pinned
visible
it,
to
you
all.
freaking... Oh my god!
Get his ass! Get him! Get him!
The abuse of power is real.
Before Bob goes on any more of a tirade, does anyone
No,
want
let
to
him
give a
cook.
recap
Let him cook.
of
I
what
can
happened a
recap.
freaking month ago or something?
I have notes.
Go for it.
Alright. So, we were still in the, in the mines at this point on the floating island of, Cloudtop.
Mm-hmm.
It's Fort Cloudtop. The island is not called Cloudtop, right?
No, yeah, it's Fort Cloudtop. The island is called Bernacle.
Yeah, Bernacle. That's right, because it was Barnacle the island.
Oh my god.
Yes, I pointed this out and it's correct.
Stuck in my
Listen.
mind. All right, so we are on Vernacle, and we are in the Ethereum mines, and we had just wrapped up a bit of a debacle with yeah, it was the Ostor mines. That was the name.
Yeah,
And,
it was the Ostor
Yeah, there
Mines.
was a... Yeah. We had just finished killing a dragon, and we
Barely.
had resumed exploring. We find a cave full of sleeping automaton constructs and some bricks that were hiding, and we decided to go the other way because, nope. A reasonable decision, really.
Fuck that shit, we're out.
Yep. And then we found a cavern with racks of weapons. One of them had a quote-unquote leather cloak on it.
And I fell for it.
Yeah.
Hook, line, and sinker.
Bedlam thought, ooh, shiny, or ooh, leather, and ran over and,
I was hoping
And-
for shiny under the leather, but I was disappointed.
yeah, he hoped for
The
shiny.
leather bit
Instead,
me.
he found ouch. It was a
The
critical
coat
hit.
bit me. The coat bit me.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
Ow.
it was actually called a cloaker, but yeah, Madeline managed to roll a nat 1 and whacked Agrier while we were fighting the thing, and Bedlam did his bite back, and eventually we defeated the cloaker. And we also found out that Agrier's sword has some fun stuff going on with it. It can sense enemies.
Oh, I should pull that up too.
Oh, it does a lot more than that.
I'm sure it does. We just haven't found all the features yet.
I mean, to be fair, you do a lot of whack shit too, and I'm waiting to go back to the cave to figure all that out because I want to.
Yeah, we just
We
have
need to
stuff
go
doing
to
first.
cave.
Cave!
I'm just terrified of Agria waking up one night with Bedlam taking educational tree clippings. Like,
No, Bedlam is a man who believes thoroughly in consent. He will ask
Beautiful.
before he shears things off of you.
Good. Consent is key. Or
Consent
in this case, consent is tree.
Consent is tree!
Mhm.
Okay.
anyway, sorry, continue.
So yeah, then after a while we came across a strange wall, which we were having trouble figuring out what the heck was going on with it until Ariali finally succeeded at the checks and found a hidden door with a back entrance, or hidden entrance per se, to Fort Cloudtop. And at this point, our friend Cielin revealed himself as Prince Terran Narenbane, the second-born of the Kinlaw royal
To
family.
the surprise
like,
of
no one's
literally no
surprised.
one.
Literally, all of us were like, Mylon, I can see this plot point from a million miles away. You're not slick. Like,
He tried.
No, I didn't. I really didn't. Listen.
I was gonna say, if that's him trying, okay.
Nah, I feel like
Yeah.
that one's the feint, and then the left hook's coming up behind it. I'm watching you,
I
DM.
fucking hope so. I want that left hook.
I'm sure there's gonna be plenty. But yeah, after this reveal, there was a very, very tense conversation.
Yeah, where Bedlam played mediator purely because he was like, I understand you want to gut him, but this is not the time nor the place. Please, God.
You don't understand.
Yeah.
There would be no witnesses.
Right in front of a fort full of possible witnesses slash murderers of us is a bad time.
None of them came up.
But they could have at any point. That's the point I'm making. Is you could have been in the middle of murder and someone may have gone, I think I left my jacket upstairs and just toddled up. Been like, what the fuck
I left
is
my
this?
jacket upstairs.
Anyway.
Yeah, alright, so during all of this, like, the very tense conversation of sheltered little bean boy prince who doesn't know a thing about the atrocities his family's been committing.
Yep.
And the scored princess of the other kingdom who is the victim of said atrocities. Yeah, we learned that that Arieli's sister Kalatari is being taken aboard the Hellfire toward the Kinlaw capital of Azeroth. And Terran says that Lord Colrin's Silversong is an ally of the rebellion and can help, and he will arrange a meeting for us. And the party leaves the mine, and we go to hang out in the inn again while he goes to arrange the meeting, and little Spider Bedlam played spy.
And discovered absolutely nothing other than, yeah, he is telling the truth. I really thought there'd be that, like, evil villain twirling mustache, haha, I fooled them moment. There wasn't.
I'm not that creative. Also, hi, Kazu. Listen,
I like how you outright are like, you're giving me more credit than I deserve. I wouldn't have done that. It's too
I
smart.
named the island Bernacle.
Barnacle. Yeah, you know, Mylon, when you put it like that, you're right. And I do give you too much credit. I need to stop expecting so much. You're right. I'm kidding. I'm being shitty.
I have faith in our DM. He's going to
I
make
know,
a great story.
I'm being an asshole because he's giving me liberty too.
No, true, fair, valid.
Fair enough.
When you self-deprecate, you give me the space to you deprecate. So don't do it. So don't do it.
True.
Alright. Continuing with the summary. During that meeting, we actually learned that Thunderblade is there. He's
Yeah, we
gone
did learn
rogue
that.
from the rebellion itself and is there. And
That is right.
yeah, so the meeting gets arranged, and then there is a bit of a rough philosophical conversation between Agrier and Ariale about the nature of leadership and queenship. At which point, Madeline pulls him aside and sasses him a bit, and they have a bit of a back and forth.
Oh
And
yeah,
that's
I
the end of the
remember
session.
that.
Yeah.
I remember that because Bedlam was having some interesting internal thoughts about that discussion. That was a time.
Anywho. That was all of it, yeah? I don't think there's anything else. That was basically it, right?
I think that was it, because I think we left off on the philosophical
Yeah.
discussion was the
Yeah.
last
we
thing.
were gonna pick up with the meeting next time.
Yeah. I think by the time you guys, get the message and stuff, realistically everyone but Bedlam would have gotten a short rest.
What?
Well, because you were wild shaping and off.
I know. I'm just being a shithead.
Fair enough. Valid. Have a nice day. Anyway. So, Ariali, go ahead and take your inspiration. Congratulations. And I hope you guys are ready because you have been invited to, Silver Song Manor. Do I have a good... I'm gonna just leave the campaign theme on for a second. While we, because I don't want to flip it a second time. Also, I'm gonna put my phone on low power mode. Because this is coming from my phone! Why bonk? Why bonk, Papo? Huh?
I gave you head rubs so it would soften your head, and then bonked you. For extra damage.
Sneak attack plus 2d6.
That's a lot of thought you're putting into Twitch emotes.
Yes.
Honestly, yeah. Anywho. So, do you guys... I remember there was a messenger, yeah? There was a messenger that came by and... Or, no!
And
It was
gave
a
it to
guard!
Treeman.
And then he left.
Yeah.
So do
He
you
delivered a
guys...
letter.
Yeah, he...
Well, if he delivered a letter, he is a messenger. It doesn't matter what his
I
other
guess-
title is.
Oh my god.
I guess that.
Do you guys...
I'm not getting into semantics, holy shit.
Are we heading to Bababooey, Silver Song
Yes.
Manor?
A Baba Booey.
Yes.
I say yes, we head over.
No, I want to go grocery shopping first. I don't know what y'all are talking about. Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Yeah, can we go fight the raid boss?
I need to go. I need
Can
to
we
go.
go fight the Ur Dragon,
Oh my
please?
gosh.
I want to go get a case
Maybe
burrito
we're
from the local
in the
fantasy
dungeon,
taco.
actually.
Can we go to the dungeon and dragon?
Can we stop by Dunkin' Donuts first?
We already dungeoned the dragon. We killed the dragon like 2 sessions ago.
Yeah, but that was 2 sessions ago. I want another dragon.
No.
Be careful what you wish for.
I could definitely make that happen.
God, no! No, God, please, no!
Dragon attack.
You know,
I saw a dragon!
3?
Do you know how many times I went down in that fucking mine? No. No, thank you. Despite my fucking age.
What if?
No, thank you.
Okay.
What if it's just a baby dragon?
No, because that's what the last one was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, I mean a
No.
baby dragon.
No, because then the mom is somewhere.
What if that was the mom?
The baby.
Actually, the one you fought wasn't technically a baby. It was like an adolescent.
Exactly.
Child, it's still not.
It was in its edgy teen phase. Come on.
It was in its edgy teen phase, you're right.
It wasn't
Okay,
a phase
fine.
though.
Okay, fine. If you want to throw a dragon at the party just because Miles wants one, sure, but no healing for you, Miles. Have fun.
In comes a pseudo dragon or a fairy dragon to mess with specifically Bedlam and no one else.
No! Fuck, no!
True to his name.
If I'm getting Bedlam content, I want only good Bedlam content, not fuck with Bedlam content. Be nice.
This small one is entertaining to me.
Be nice to the gnome.
Dare, are you sure about that? Because the history of the rest of your characters has like.
The rest of my characters have nothing to do with Bedlam. The rest of my characters are fucked up in their own special ways, and we don't talk about them. I'm a lot crueler to my other characters. Bedlam, I'm relatively nice to. Let's keep it that way.
Relatively
For
nice
now.
too.
For now. Oh, you don't even... The character that I just recently made for the new campaign I'm in, I told a friend of mine his backstory, and the first words out of her mouth were, "Are you okay, and do you need to talk about something?" And I had to be like, "No, I'm fine, I swear to God." So no, Bedlam is the outlier, and I'm gonna keep it that way.
Fair enough.
Alright.
Okay, so to Silver Song Manor, yes?
Silver
we're
Song
going to
Manor.
The
Fancy
big
man.
question mark.
Yes. Let me go.
Because it's not showing up on my screen.
Oh, it's not?
Okay, you problem.
No.
Let me check.
Huh?
It's showing up on my screen. It's your
I
problem.
mean, I can see the whole. I can see the town map.
It's a you
I can see
problem.
the town map, but the Silver Song Man is a question mark.
Well, it's a you problem. I
Odd.
can see it just fine.
It's loading.
Yeah, Owlbear 2.0 go burr.
That is true.
Oh, pardon me.
I will not pardon you.
Okay, then I live.
I will remember that burp distinctly. I will lock it away in my memory.
Someone clip it.
Oh God.
Yes! Yes! Chaos.
We need a burp and sneeze compilation of the campaign.
We also just need, like, a compilation of all the times that we've all just been screaming over each other trying to say jokes at the same time.
That's
'cause those are
literally
most
every
refreshing.
session.
Yeah, I know. So we just need a clip of each and every one. Just to really give the experience.
Thank you, Dovahkiin, for the follow. Okay,
Dovahkiin. Dragon Ball.
Yo, Dova.
Dovahkiin.
please
Dovahkiin
don't
was
get
Skyrim.
me. Please don't get me DMCA'd. Please.
Sorry.
I'm begging, please.
No. I will sing whatever I want. You
Valid.
cannot control me.
Consume a dragon for you? Fair enough.
We
Fair enough.
already kind of did, I think.
I think Maddie did.
Maddie ate it. I know that for a fact.
Why spray?
Because it's funny.
Anyway,
I am.
so are we just walking up to the manor and do they just let us in, or?
One
We were
second. I'm
invited.
looking. Literally looking for. Okay, there you are.
You've had 45 minutes to get prepared.
I'm looking for the
You were
stupid.
playing Dragon's Dogma.
I'm looking for the tokens I need. Dang it.
Yeah, you had 45 minutes to get those fucking.
There we go. They're here. I just needed to track them down. Thank you very much. Anyway. So you guys, together with Maddie, she is also here.
Not pictured.
We didn't have the
up-
budget to get Madeline for this session.
Exactly. She's one of those off-screen characters for this session.
Exactly. So anyway,
The OSHA budget didn't have it in it.
Oh my god.
true. Anyway, you guys walk up to the Silversong Manor gate. The guards there do recognize you, and but one of them says, or one of them walks up and asks, "Are you the group that Lord, what was his name? Lord Cielen requested for?"
I believe so, yes.
Perfect. If you would follow me. And he turns and he walks up the little, like, do you remember the stairwell that leads up into the garden area?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he leads you guys up there. And I'm going to... Hold on. I think I have cool music.
DMCA.
Is this any better? No, that is not any better. I probably should have done this research like before session, but this is fine.
No, you were too busy playing video game. Too much important time.
We're gonna live
Exactly.
down.
Yes, no, he's down. Does he ever live anything down with this party?
No, I really don't.
He
Yeah.
he could be like, oh no, I dropped a pencil, and we'd make it a running gag for like 3 sessions. Like,
True, true. They absolutely will. Anyway. So you guys walk up into this garden area, right? And the guard leads you to the front door of the manor, and he opens it. And this time, Bedlam, you can kind of see you get your first sight of this place, even though you have kind of been here before. But so the door opens and the guard leads you guys all into like this foyer area actually. And there's like a couple of doors on there's like 2 doors on the left. It goes down in front of you like and then wait no. There's a door on the left, a door on the right. The hall goes down a little bit, and then there's another door on the left at the far back left corner, another door on the right, and then it dead ends into like a double door type thing.
What? Okay.
There's like large paintings hanging on the walls. This is like maybe a 30-foot long hallway or something. It's not terribly long, maybe 20 foot.
Rich people.
Exactly, right?
All they fucking doors and fucking hallways and shit.
Yeah. There's like big paintings. There's a depiction of the floating city, like the island itself.
Of Barnacle.
Of Barnacle, yes.
The Barnacle boy.
And then there's on the left is like this depiction with clouds underneath it, and in the background it's a forested island, and there's no Kinlan presence like depicted. There's no fort, there's no nothing. So and it looks like no human touch, like there's no evidence of like human touch on the island as it's depicted in this painting here. It looks very overgrown with forest.
The utopian ideal of no colonialism.
Exactly,
I can respect
right?
that.
Exactly. And on the right is a portrait of a man who looks like this. This is in fact a pretty good representation of the portrait.
Can I be candid for a minute?
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Anyway. I was gonna say Dova, smash. How old is he? Again?
Bedlam, you'd have no idea. Ariale would probably have a better idea.
Damn.
She's
But no,
only gonna
Dova's-
say if she's asked.
I mean, Bedlam's not asking. Bedlam's just admiring the portrait.
Dare's asking.
Dare's asking.
He's like,
Cause damn.
I want to say upper 30s, possibly 40.
Doable.
Foxy Grandpa.
Doable. I was gonna say Silver Fox, I like. Anyway.
Anyhow.
Oh
This is
my
just Dare
God.
being stupid anyway. But yeah, he's got a nice
Definitely
portrait.
allowed.
This is good to know.
Yes, a nice portrait.
Nice portrait, some nice anti-colonialism merch in here.
Yep.
I like the man's vibe so far. It's vibe checking.
Yep. So, you guys, the guard leads you towards the double door at the back. Do you continue to follow him?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So he opens the double door, and you guys find yourself in this, like, open, like, your best guess would be, like, a living room type thing. Like, there's a fireplace off to the right with a roaring fire already. There are, because it's like dusk out, if I remember correctly from last session. There's like a couple of couches, right? There's some chairs, and this mostly looks like a lounge area type thing. There's a couple more doors out of this area, on, like, as you guys look around. There's a big ol' chandelier in the center. of the ceiling with a bunch of candles that provides bright light to this whole room. And sitting on one of the seats next to the fireplace is this man. And standing next to the fireplace is, wouldn't you know it,
The man.
our favorite
The man.
Derp,
Our favorite child.
Taryn.
It's him.
Yeah.
Him.
So,
The child who fooled no one.
Yeah, exactly. The guard bows to the man seated in the chair and says, "I've brought the adventurers as you requested," and then he leaves behind the door you guys came in and shuts the door behind him. At the sound of the door opening, Taryn actually turns around, and upon seeing you guys, he smiles. Right? He's like, "I'm glad you guys could come, and we have a lot to talk about. Please take a seat."
Yeah, I'll take a seat. I'll find a place to sit.
Mm-hmm.
Bedlam will just sit next to wherever Miles sits, I guess.
Agrier will go lean on a wall.
Yeah, I was about to
As
say,
Agrier
you and
does.
Treeman does not.
Have trouble finding seats for our
Yeah.
size.
You would probably poke a hole in a couch. I'm gonna be real, Chief.
Yeah, let's be real, 100%. He's ruining that upholstery.
Right, I'm just like, yep, I understand. It's okay, I'm a tree.
He
Maddie
gets
will
up all covered
probably.
in sap.
Maddie will probably also stay standing if I know her character.
Probably.
Yeah.
You know, considering the decor in this place, I could probably just like T-pose for power and I would blend right in.
You would. You absolutely would.
With all the wood and shit, yeah.
Yeah. No, you absolutely would. There's
Would-
3-man 6 going dark T-poses.
Taryn kind of waves his hand at the man seated in the chair across from you guys, and he says, "I don't know how acquainted you are, but this is Lord Colren Silversong. He's been helping me stay out of sight from my guards, and although, well, maybe I should let him tell you."
A question: have Arielle and Lord Silversong met before?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah. When you were a kid, okay. I use the term kid loosely because the dude's like 40 years old max, and you're an elf, so like, quote, right? But when he was a lot younger, probably like a solid 15, maybe 20 years ago, during the time of peace that your mother oversaw, if you remember that.
Yes.
Silversong was kind of elected as leader of the city. What's the freaking city? Yorn? The Sky City of Yorn, yeah. He was like kind of made leader at that point, and you remember him and your mother and your father were all quite good friends, actually. He was very sharp for, in your eyes, such a young human. And he maintained a very cordial relationship with your parents and with Aldine, and often like yes, Yorn was its own thing. But it was kind of like under Aldine's wing, so to speak, because it was right above them. So a lot of his trade and like his trade routes and stuff passed through Spiretop. So, you know, you had lots of opportunities to see him because he and your mother worked very close in hand. He's a smart guy. Never married. Doesn't have any kids. But
good to know.
Well, okay, so the reason I bring that up is it's odd because most nobles marry
Yeah, they want heirs.
young. They want heirs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he never married. He never married. He has no kids.
Can I make a bad joke?
Vampire.
Go for it.
Confirmed bachelor, if you know what that means.
Oh my god.
I have a chance. I'm just kidding.
So you're saying there's a chance. There we go.
So you're saying there's a
I
chance
have
anyway.
I have tea for hydrating, Clara.
good.
Tea. Yes, I approve of this.
It is technically iced tea, but it
That's
is
still good.
unrefrigerated and uniced, so it is uniced tea. It is dry tea.
This
It is room temp tea,
acceptable.
the highest of teas.
Acceptable. I will also posture check. Thank you. Anyway, so that is about an overview of what you know of this guy.
Okie dokie.
He's always been. He struck you. He always struck you as quiet. And from your knowledge about goings on in Yorn, he doesn't really intervene a whole lot. He kind of just lets the populace do their thing, and doesn't really like worry about it too much. And hold on, I'm editing something. There we go.
Based AF.
He just kind of vibes, and he's really there to solve disputes if disputes pop up between members of the populace, type of thing. But yeah. So anyway, he leans forward. He kind of puts his elbows like on his on the arm rests of his chair and kind of locks his fingers together. And he looks at each and every one of you with very like a very steady gaze, like he's studying you or something like that.
He's sizing us up.
He said, and then, after about a minute or so, he says, so, you're the ones who kept the Prince Ling safe down in the mines?
Yes.
You have my gratitude for that. I was afraid he would get himself hurt.
Would have been quite easy.
I was gonna say, Bedlam just kind of tilts his head and like lifts his eyes in that look of like, well, I think he would have. Like that kind of look, like.
Yeah. You see, here's my situation that Taryn kindly would explain, but the situation is a bit more nuanced than I think even he realizes. As I'm sure you've found out by now, the Hellfire departed from Fort Cloudtop just a day or two ago. And you seek Princess Calatari aboard, yes?
Yes.
I thought so. He says, be aware that if the Hellfire reaches its destination, there will be no rescuing her. So this is your
It
one...
reminds me, Lord Silversong.
You must understand, this is your one opportunity. There will not be a second chance at this. Moreover, neither Taryn or myself can be suspected of helping you. Taryn would be tried for treason against the crown, and I would just as quickly be executed. Or if the Empire decided to keep me around, hold my city as ransom. I would not like it to come to that. So,
You sound like you have a lot at stake.
I do.
What's in this for you?
He looks at you and he sort of... There's this, like, ghost of a smile that passes over his face, before fading. And he says...
God damn it.
He says, let's just say I've wanted to stick it to the Empire for a really long time now. I'm tired of them rampaging in Yorn without a care in the world, and thinking that there aren't consequences for their actions. People need to start standing up to them. That's why I've been supplying the Resistance with weapons and training. Although, the Empire can't prove that I have been, otherwise, well, I wouldn't be here. He says, He says, I will let you take an Edge class Dao from the air dock here in Yorn. It's a personal airship of mine, so please, I would like to see it again. But, you will need the speed to catch up. He turns to Taryn and he says, Prince Narenvain, I imagine you would have a lot more insight to offer to come up with a plan than I would. And yeah?
Lord Colrin.
Yes?
So, if it must seem that there isn't an association between you and us, wouldn't it make more sense for the ship to be stolen?
That is true. I was going to have it repainted, but that would be faster. I shall arrange for that.
I'm gonna look to the party, see if everyone's chill with this, because...
Ariali nods. Plan holds merit.
Miles also
Okay.
nods.
Ooh, air pirates.
True.
Air pirates.
Sky pirates. Anyway, Taryn says, well, getting in will be the easy part. There's one of two places she's likely held, and, he pulls out a piece of parchment and, a pen. And I am going to zoom out slightly so I can draw this down here. And he says, the Hellfire has, 3 decks. It has an upper deck, it has a middle deck, and it has a lower deck. the upper deck and the lower deck. The lower deck has most of the docking stations, but the upper deck is closer to the brig, or at least one of the potential chief. Okay, hold on. Collecting my thoughts because ADHD is jumping like a freaking Mario level. Anyway, so he says the princess is in one of a couple likely locations. And first he draws kind of, you guys get to see my terrible drawing skills. Let's do this. First he draws kind of this this sort of thing going on like this. Ish. Witness my terrible drawing skills. Anyway, he says, so, let me make this a different color. Let's make this orange. He says, so, at the center of the upper deck, right here, are 4 docking stations that open up above the Hellfire. Alright? So, like, basically you would fly in and come down on top of the Hellfire to dock with this docking station, but they only fit dhows, is the thing. He also says, furthermore, the engines and engine monitoring rooms are back here. And then further up the ship, on the upper deck, you've got the primary cannon batteries right here. You've got a whole set of barracks along here, and then you've got the bridge up here. Alright? So you've got, like... Does that all make sense so far? Do I need to label these? I can label these. Boppo!
What'd I do?
You moved it.
No, I didn't.
You definitely did.
I'm not even on Owlbear at the moment.
Sus. Anyway.
Got that right.
And then he says, okay, here's the most important part about the upper deck. Number 1 is that, you know, around these docking areas, there are going to be tons of people milling about, obviously. People working on, you know, repairs and maintenance of any docked ships that are there, as well as it's one of the largest areas in the upper deck itself. So, you know, there's just lots of room to, like, there's just lots of people there because there's lots of room, right? As well as there's going to be lots of people around the batteries, the primary cannon batteries, and a couple in the engine room, or in the engine rooms, I should say. But he does say that along the sides of the ship here are 4 cabins, 2 on each side. He says this one right here is the captain's cabin. This is where Legate Arkvist would reside normally, and it's where he keeps, where he holds private audiences. If the princess was on the upper deck, this is the likeliest spot she'd be in. That way, the legate can keep a close personal eye on her, right? This one right here is... I need to go back and look, hold on. Where's my map? Come here, map. Come here, map. Come here, map. Oh, he says this one right here is actually will be my quarters while aboard the ship. It's you know, it's where I reside while on board the Hellfire. He says this one right here is the first mate Elvraz's quarters. I'll send that in chat so you know, because that's a hard name to spell. His name is First Mate Elvraz. And he says those are his quarters. Not many people go in there because, well, rumors are at night there's, well, unpleasant noises can be heard coming from here. I've never been in there myself. I have no idea what he does in there, but none of the guards are ever happy about being stationed outside of his door. And then he says, when I left the Hellfire, this cabin was left unused. If the princess was on the upper deck, this would be the other likeliest spot for her to be held. Under, obviously, constant surveillance. He says that kind of is everything for the upper deck. Let me just complete this really fast. Actually, you know what? Better idea. Better idea. Better idea. Better idea. Better idea. Let me just select all of this as the DM. Make it invis. And then just drag it off over here. Sweet deal. Alright. Then he says, as far as the middle deck goes, the middle deck is actually a lot simpler. Again, it's gonna have the same basic shape. But, let me get my blue again. Shut up, baby. Wow. Shebang. There we go. Cool. Anyway. So he says, actually, up here, in this area, is mostly devoted right underneath the bridge, basically. It looks like a check engine light.
I was gonna say, this makes me think of, like, playing Pictionary, but someone's life is on the fucking line. Like...
Listen.
You must decipher my shitty 10 p.m. drawing if you
Don't
want to save your
judge
sister,
my
Batman.
computer drawing skills, alright?
I'm going to.
Anyway. It says this area is actually right underneath the bridge. These are the primary cannons. The forward-facing primary cannons. So they're like... There's going to be lots of people along here, because this is the loading bay for those cannons. But, like, this is just taken up by pure freaking gun. Like, this isn't, like... You can't get here except unless you were to, like, get in from the outside of the ship or something. Which is crazy talk.
In which case, you don't want to be there.
Yeah, you don't really want to be there. He says, along here... these are the side cannons along the ship. Right here. And there's like a long hall in here with the batteries for those side cannons in here. And towards the back of the ship, which I have not left room for, are two large storage areas, and the brig is also back here. Let me. My drawing is gonna go off the edge of the ship, but it's fine. He says basically. Well, actually, no. All Terran would know is that the brig is back here. So he's like, all I know is that the entrance to the brig is back here. I don't know what it looks like or what's in there, but this would be if the princess was not on the upper deck, I would hazard a guess at her being somewhere in here. This would also be significantly safer for you guys to check than the upper deck because there's rarely any guards around this area. And then finally, last but not
That
least...
seems a little... You'd think there'd be more guards around the brig. Wouldn't you?
I mean, there's a
It's
couple.
the
Will
brick.
they actually take prisoners? Let me ask you that.
There's a couple, but it's more that like how to explain.
Well, also,
Yeah.
if she was in the brig, then there would be more guards than normal.
You are correct about that. There would be, yeah.
So one way or another, we will be facing opposition.
Well, this wouldn't be the craziest rescue operation in recent history if it was easy.
Fair enough. Moving on. Lower deck.
Lower deck.
Proceed.
Yes. No, not on my DM. On you. He says the lower deck is when the DM started running out of ideas for what to put in the ship, so it's a lot smaller.
The lower deck is all storage, anyway.
No. So it's kind of split into two sections. This front section is like a large... There's like a large... I don't want to use the term like gathering area. It's like a...
Like a mess
That's all.
Yeah, like a massive mess hall. Like, right here. There's a massive mess hall. Right here, there's another set of barracks. But around here is actually like an open air, like, railing. That's just like open out to the that people can just go like hang out on. During
That's the pit they throw the mutineers in. I see.
During combat, they would use it to board other ships if the dreadnought was close enough. But other than that, this is really just like a large relaxing area for the crew, because the ship has a lot of crew members on it. There are a lot of people on the ship.
I wonder how many incident reports they've had to file from people getting drunk during parties and falling off of it.
I actually don't know.
Probably a lot. There's also probably lots of people betting like, hey, you want to see me spit off the railing? And then just falls or some shit.
Oh yeah,
Like, there's
for
probably
sure.
a bunch of idiots that have done dumb crap and fallen off.
For freaking sure.
Meanwhile, I'm thinking about how many mutinies did they have before they decided, hey, quality of life needs to be a thing on the ship?
That's what I was also thinking.
No, the mess hall and the barracks were built in when the ship was built.
Blow up the lower deck?
Unionize the word. Union.
I think it's time for OSHA.
I think it's
Absolutely.
time for OSHA.
How much health care is the Empire even giving you? Do you get paid leave? Maternity leave? You should join the Union.
He says these two areas right here are manned turrets, on the side of the ship that like face outward, right? That are maintained when not in combat. But you know, these are definitely. Oh, hello, Maddie's the wizard. Thank you for the follow. These are definitely like part of why the dreadnought is so deadly during combat. These are the things that didn't fire on the palace when we were back in that point. And finally, we have the docking station, which is really just 3 large docks
It's the landing gear.
on each side. It's not the landing gear. The ship doesn't actually land.
Well, it's the equivalent.
So no, these are more docking stations for airships to come and dock with the dreadnought.
Oh.
So 4 of these, the ones on the corners, are large enough for gunships to dock with the dreadnought.
Oh.
It's like
And
an
then-
airship carrier. It can have
Carrier.
other
Yeah,
ships.
Yeah, dreadnoughts are airship carriers. Yeah, that's a really good way of putting it.
That's
And then,
actually very scary if you know anything about actual airship carriers. Oh god.
yeah, and then these two are 2 more Dow docking spaces. So all in all, there's 4 docking spaces for Dows on the upper deck and 2 more on the lower deck. So 6 Dow stations in total, and then 4 gunship docks in total. Plus the dreadnought itself. So this thing can carry a literal army. Like,
I also. This is just a me thing that I've just been wondering.
Thanks,
I know you
Patty.
said that the one guy had like bad sounds coming from his room that everyone else has agreed is bad sounds they don't want to hear.
it's like groaning.
What kind? Yeah, what kind of bad sounds?
Weeping, the rumors say.
From like multiple people?
I mean,
Or just him?
it's quiet, so we can't really tell. But
Okay.
I haven't been over there. I don't know the details. All I know are what the soldiers talk about during their break when they're at the bottom of their mugs.
Right. Prince Terran, I have another question for you.
Yes.
If you were aboard this dreadnought for long enough to speak with the soldiers in the mess hall, how did you not know about anything your family was doing? Surely someone would have said something.
I mean, I wasn't around for the attack on the palace. I only muscled my way onto the ship when I heard that the Hellfire had been in combat. And I was told originally that there had been no combat in Spiretop, but I knew that the Hellfire was stationed in Aldine and especially around the city, so I was worried, but nobody seemed to want to talk about it. And I wasn't about to ask the legate. Everybody would...
Surely that should have raised some red flags, though. Why would soldiers not want to speak of combat if they have glory stories to tell? Unless, of course, they were firing upon their own men. Which
Well-
they did.
I didn't know that at the time. And I
No, I just find it quite dubious that you didn't.
he says, he says, look,
And
yeah?
I know we've got the awkward silence going on here. Bedlam might just kind of quietly be like, I know you seem to find a lot of flaws in his story, and I do too, but as of right now, and as far as I can tell, he's genuine in helping you get your sister back, and that alone speaks volumes on trying to fix at least some of this. So yes, he's ignorant to a point that it's fantastical, but he's doing something about it, right? And I know that doesn't fix everything, but we don't need to grill him every second, I don't think.
Tell you
Or
what,
at least-
No, I just want to make sure we're not walking into a trap.
I will keep the legate archivist busy and occupied while you are on the ship. I'll pull him into a meeting or something. He'll definitely want to speak with me since I've been gone for several days now.
Inside check.
I was gonna say, Bedlam just looks at Ariale
Roll.
with like, alright, what do you think of that? Like,
Roll.
I think insight check is necessary. Why did I not take proficiency in insight?
I will just say, out of character, the reason Bedlam is way more like, I think he's just genuinely stupid, is because I sat in his pocket when he thought he was alone, and he didn't do shit that was suspicious. So that's why Bedlam's like, I think he's just stupid, Your Honor. Like,
That just begs the question of, is
I
he
can't
actually
say.
that stupid? Or is he so fucking smart that he, like,
I don't think he's five brain. Bedlam sees a kindred stupid soul in this one.
That's a 21 on insight, by the way.
You get the feeling he's trying to be genuine. You think he's actually trying to be genuine here. And you also know that it would be so easy for him to drop you off on the dreadnought and then immediately go like hide in his cabin or something and get out of the way and alert everyone to your presence on the ship.
That's what I was thinking.
And he is wanting to put himself right in the line of fire, and
That's
so
what I
to
was
speak,
thinking.
and keep the legate busy so that you guys don't have to worry about that.
Fine. Then, one more question. How do you propose we dock without getting shot down?
How do you
Or
propose
are we
what?
simply
I didn't hear.
carried? Oh. How do you propose we actually dock on the Hellfire without getting shot down?
Well, if we're bringing the prince on board, I thought that was the plan. That we were going along with him.
Right.
Yeah.
Alright, so, point of information, do airships and stuff have... They have comms, right? Or at least some form of communication?
It's a more basic version than something like in a sci-fi show. It's essentially just really fancy sending stones. I'm gonna be real, Chief. But yeah. I mean, they have
Stones.
comms of a sort.
Alright. Then how will any of them recognize your voice, or will it simply be our word against their suspicion?
Well, if I know the legate, if he's not on the bridge, his first mate is. And both of them know me.
Both of them know you. Alright.
He says, well, I guess that just leaves one more thing from me, I guess. And he looks at Colrun, and he says, If you would, please, Lord Silversong, could you bring him in? And, Holrin nods, and, he stands up, walks over to, one of the other doors. And I did not mean to draw that on that. I forgot I was not on my move tool. There we go.
Womp womp.
He walks over to one of the other doors in the room, and he opens it. And in walks in a man that all of you except Agrier recognize.
Lord Erentil.
He says, hold on. Shebang. There we go. Alright. He says, oh, looks like I've been given as warm of a reception as I could have expected.
Well, my question is, are you here to aid us, or are you here because you didn't believe we could succeed?
Does it really even matter?
I might take your friend's word. It doesn't matter what I say. But, if you must know, I would like to see the princess safely rescued. And if I am here myself, I can ensure that that happens.
You think very highly of yourself. Who is this man?
It looks at you,
This is
Agrier.
Torin Erentil.
Yeah?
He's known as the Thunderblade.
You're gonna have to go into a bit more detail than that.
I was getting there.
His, so... I will just describe him for a second, Ager, so you know what you're looking at, kind of thing.
Please.
But he's, so I think he's a human, if I remember correctly. Hold on, now I need to go check that.
Let
He
me
might be
check
like a
my
high
notes
elf,
real quick.
or a half elf.
No, I didn't think he was a high elf. Where are
you?
my
Come
NPC
here.
notes? Royal Guard Commander. No, it doesn't say his race.
He's a half elf.
Okay.
He's a half elf.
Okay.
He's actually lost an eye. He's got this bandage around his head covering one of his eyes. He's decked in... Actually, right now, he's decked in, like, Kinlan soldier, or Kinlan captain, like, chainmail armor.
Makes sense.
With like the Kinlan emblem on it. But on his back, you see not just like a broadsword and a shield, but you also see a giant greatsword sheathed on his back. And the scabbard is a electric blue color with what looks like scales going down the whole thing. And the hilt on the greatsword, although you can't see the blade, the hilt is a dark onyx ebony kind of looking material that has been like expertly crafted and it looks like if you were to judge the size of the blade in proportion to the hilt itself, this thing takes a hefty hand to wield.
Okay.
And it would, just judging from the scabbard and the hilt alone, you don't think you could put a price on this thing.
Dang.
Anyway, go on, Lux.
This is this is Halterin Erentil. He's known as the Thunderblade. He was before the invasion captain of the Aldinian Royal Guard, and the stories are that he was able to take down entire dreadnoughts alone. And having watched the battle, I believe these stories.
I see. So, and I just turned to him and I'm like, so it's a matter of pride then?
It's not pride.
Agria reading this man for filth. Get him, king.
He says, I don't think you quite understand. I'm the only one who can. It's not pride if it's fact. I don't think...
All I ask...
Yeah?
All I ask is that we cooperate, because if we are all going, you are not going to be doing this alone. No, none of us have the same prowess or reputation as you do, but we are still capable in our own right.
He says, I'll pose as the Princeling's bodyguard. It would be suspicious were he to arrive without one. And I don't think anyone will argue to, my capabilities for that role.
No, but would anyone recognize you?
Likely not if he's all dressed up in that armor and if he has a helmet to go with it.
I'll be
But
wearing
then
the
he
helmet.
can't be. But then he's missing an eye, which is a pretty characteristic trait, and he's carrying around a giant, very fancy-looking blade. That could be pretty well easy to identify him by.
Wait, what if I went as the Princeling's bodyguard?
I don't think a tree would
giant
blend in
tree.
any better, personally.
I-
But good.
No, you're...
Yeah, for sure, but they don't know me.
No,
I've
but...
never been seen with you prior to this.
No, but at the same time, you'd
Agria,
think that they would have remembered hiring a sentient tree as the prince's bodyguard.
Agria, tree people
Yeah.
are not very common, at all. Like, you're the first one we've ever seen. You would stick out a bit more, I think.
He's correct.
Well, I think
you're
it would be more
right.
difficult for me to hide with you, and I would draw more attention to the group as a whole.
That is...
Not necessarily. Regardless, Look, a sword hilt can be wrapped. It can be disguised. A giant tree, not quite as well.
We have ways of making you blend in with our group a little bit easier. We can work on that later.
Very well. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna almost sit in a chair and then realize what I'm doing and stop and go lean on a wall.
Halterin says, I'll leave my greatsword here. It pains me to be without it, but it will have to do. I'll come retrieve it from Lord Silversong when all this is over.
Or you can disguise it. I just think it being a trademark might make it a bit hard to hide. That's all.
Well, I don't think great swords like that are exactly standard issue for soldiers.
No.
There is another option.
What?
You suggest what I think you're suggesting.
Get a Kinlan civilian to pose as a Kinlan.
Miles, are you sure?
It isn't. I'm just saying it's an option. We have things we can look at.
I know.
If it's something that needs to be done, I'll do it.
Look, I don't want any of us going off on our own in a place like this.
Miles,
We need to stick
Haltern
together
raises
as
an
much as we can.
eyebrow at you, but doesn't say anything.
I figured he would. I just think that if things do go awry, Thunderblade's a bit better of a fighter than I am. So you guys would be safe, at the very least. And
Trying
the
to
princess
find
would be in better hands.
We are not going to leave you behind.
That wasn't what I was saying. I was just saying it would be easier.
Now, I've only known you all a short while, but since when have you done things the easy way?
None of this is the easy way. At all.
There we go.
There is no easy way.
Well then, we each need an excuse to enter the airship, and then after that we need to find a way to reconvene.
Well, my excuse is easy. I'm the pilot. I will need a place to rest before starting off again. You know, those regulations about flight time and all.
Okay. And if I'm not a bodyguard, then I must be luggage?
Could be a guard of the ship.
Could do that.
Like the pilot's personal bodyguard, not the princess.
A mercenary. Hired as escort?
Something like that.
Yes, that seems reasonable.
I could be the ship's navigator. I know how to use navigation tools.
And you do seem to know the stars rather well.
He nods.
Maybe just a little bit.
I can be navigator.
I feel like Maddie would also suit into the mercenary bodyguard type
Yep.
100%.
100%.
Totally.
/ gunner.
Miles? Bedlam smiles at you. And he's got this like soft smile and he's looking at you really gently. And it's almost like he's trying to like cheer you up by putting forward a like silly option where he's like, you could be assistant navigator studying to learn how to be one. If you'd prefer.
Could. Why not?
I've got it. You could be the ship's mechanic.
The mechanic?
Yes. You're good at... Look, I've seen you lie your way out of many situations. You could easily come up with something. I'm sure.
I mean, I've seen you figure it out, so
Oh.
Shut up.
Uh-oh.
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 Get works.
Oh, jeez. What is going on?
No,
Hold on, I'll be right back. What in the world is going on? Hi, Wolfie. You cursed the Strem. No! What happened to stream chat? Why is it frozen? Oh, there it goes. Okay, we're good. Okay. I forgot about my entrance sound. Okay, I think everything is fine now. I think everything is fine now.
Good.
That's good.
Is
I
it really a Twitch stream if you don't have a little bit of stuff?
exactly.
It's not a
exactly.
Mylon stream if you don't have some scuff. That's what.
Hey.
I stand by my statement.
Anywho, what were you guys saying? I heard Miles could be a mechanic. He can probably
then
lie his way
Then
out.
we hit upon, oh yeah, he figures out guns fast. We can make him the ship's gunner and mechanic. And then we're like, oh no, we're giving Miles more explosives.
Honestly, at this point, give it to him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
we'll
Give
agree.
it to him.
Let him have
Madeline Gunner,
Bet.
you pilot, I navigator, and I can fit that role good. Agrier guard for ship. And then I assume that leaves Mr. Thunderblade as the prince's guard then. Does that sound like a plan?
This seems reasonable.
Yes, and naturally, if fighting breaks out in the upper deck, and that will mean you have already found my sister, and a clear sign that we should make haste to your location.
Let's hope it doesn't come to that. If we get into a fight on that ship, basically cornered.
A suggestion. Should the worst happen and fighting break out, I have an idea.
Alright.
I would ask
Yes?
that the 5 of you would cause enough mayhem and chaos to cause a sufficient distraction that I can split off from the Princeling and steal aboard an airship, disconnecting it from the docks and swing around and come meet you wherever you are. Or meet you at a or we can designate
The
a
lower
spot.
balcony.
The lower balcony works.
Because
be
if
fair.
we are looking for my sister in either, well, you would be checking the upper decks in either of 2 rooms you mentioned, and we would be looking in the middle decks in the brig. If we find her in the brig, and we start making a commotion, that would be the sign that we have found her. And then you find the airship. We make our way to the lower deck and get to that outer balcony that is often used for either boarding or just
Good plan.
general.
And I think I have some ideas
Wide
about
open.
how we could make some good distractions too.
Madeline and I are good at
I
that.
have, yes, and
And
I
keep in mind that
also-
wild shape can be pretty good for odd distractions
He
on a
says,
ship where there should be no animals.
He says, however, there's a catch to this plan. Once you board the airship, someone will need to... The remaining airships docked with the Hellfire, and indeed the Hellfire's guns themselves, must be temporarily disabled so that you can escape safely.
Can we not do that on the way? I would rather not leave you behind.
I trust in my own ability to keep the Hellfire from giving chase.
You did not answer my question.
the longer they're out, the more time people have to figure out something's wrong. I understand.
I will
I understand
use.
why
I
staying
will
behind
use.
to
Yeah.
do it.
I will use the
Makes
chaos
sense.
you create as a cover to disable the Hellfire while you fly out undetected. And should I come under suspicion, I will be in Kinlan armor. You will not. Besides, better my life is risked than yours, princess.
Whatever happens, you do your absolute best to get out of there alive. Do you understand? And
I
we'll
swear.
make as few sacrifices as we can. They've already taken enough from us.
I will make it out.
Good.
Okay. And what are we waiting for?
Well, at the moment, a chance to quote-unquote steal Lord Silversong's airship.
Olren speaks up. He says, I's just waiting until dark.
I was gonna say Maddie's in the background with a jute bag.
She's ready.
She is so ready. You cannot convince me she's not.
No, Maddie would be so ready.
She would.
Honestly, Miles is always ready with his Eminem partner.
Exactly. Colren says, I will arrange that my ship be fueled and ready to depart in a few hours' time, and that the guard is thin tonight. Do be sure to bring it back in one piece.
We will do our best.
All right. If that is everything, I know it was requested that we have a shorter session tonight. Do you guys want to continue until we board the Dow, or do you want to go ahead and break now, and then next time when Maddie's with us, we can catch her up and jump the airship together?
Considering Maddie's not here, I say we wait until next week. Or
Yeah.
next time we
If Maddie was here, I'd say we board and then cut it. But since Maddie's not
Maddie
here,
no healer.
because I do
Yeah.
want to let Maddie have at least some
Yeah, same.
input on the
Yes.
plan.
I agree.
Yeah, we can wait till Maddie back.
Fair enough. Let me go check my phone. What is this? Ah, okay. How do y'all feel about next session being on the 19th? Because that's in 2 weeks.
Fine with
I should
that.
be able to do 19th.
that should work.
Okay.
Yep.
Sweet deal. So I will put in for the 19th. Hopefully that hopefully we don't have to push it off like another month again. Anyway, because I am excited. I am excited. We're coming up to like the climax of like arc 1, I guess, of the campaign. But anyway, thank you all for coming along. Let me throw the campaign theme back on because we are ending. There we go. And yeah. Do you guys have any parting words?
I have a bit more respect for Thunderblade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
This
parting
does too.
words. My parting words are: stay in drugs, don't do school.
I definitely agree with the don't do school part.
Do you get Mylon demonetized speedrun?
Oh my goodness.
I work at a school. The things that I say are approved. Don't tell my school I said that.
Oh my goodness. You are.
Thank you for the session, DM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. This was fun.
I know it was super
Taryn
short,
didn't get
but
smacked,
Taryn
so
didn't get
props to him.
smacked.
Yeah.
I didn't get beheaded.
Yeah,
Why would
victories
you
all
was
around.
beheaded?
Kinlan.
Oh, fair.
But yeah, we are. I am going to go ahead and call it there for tonight. Hopefully, Maddie is able to join us. I don't know what happened. I hope she's okay. I hope she's doing okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, hopefully she's here next time. So yeah. But anywho, thank you everybody for coming along. I am going to send y'all over to Rune because he is playing some Power Wash Simulator. There's his channel. As always, don't expect me to stream during the week when I normally would. Because house is loud a lot. I'm shocked that the dogs haven't been barking the whole stream. I might appear next Friday though. We'll see. Maybe over on Bob's channel or something. I don't know. But anyway, thank you everybody for coming along. I will see you all next time. Goodbye and have a good night.
Bye.